This was one heresy that the early first Christians had to deal with. But Dr. Sproul reminds us perhaps even more serious was what we call the dynamic monarchianism of Arius. This is Arianism that we're going to describe, listen up, which threatened Christian orthodoxy in the beginning of the 4th century. So first we had the modalistic monarchianism, which early first Christians had to deal with first. And then after dealing with that, the early church had to deal with dynamic monarchianism. They're both forms of monarchianism where we're trying to where the early theologians are trying to reject Trinitarian theology, and they're also trying to be careful not to describe tritheism or tritheism. Let me just read Dr. Sproul, and this will make more sense. Speaking of dynamic monarchianism or Arianism, right? Arius. This particular heresy resulted in the Council of Nicea and the Nicene Creed that we're familiar with. The theological struggles of the first 3 centuries were based upon the church's desire, listen up, to be faithful to biblical monotheism or monarchianism, and at the same time to be faithful to the attribute of deity for each of the 3 persons of the Godhead. You understand what I'm saying there? So let me see how much we've got. We've got a lot more to read, so I'm not going to keep reading here. I think what we'll do is we'll stop for tonight, and we'll pick this up next week, where we'll continue to look at Dr. Sproul's writings on this idea of the triune monarchy. In the end, what Dr. Sproul is going to remind us of is that as biblical theologians, when we're looking at the text, let me just kind of cut to the chase and give you, bring the plane down for a landing so we can draw some semi-conclusions and park us for next week. Because this is my own perspective as well. I don't want to leave you confused. What Dr. Sproul is going to challenge us with is that as we read through our own Bibles, we have to affirm the oneness of God, the monarchy of God, the monarchianism of God, the monarchy of God, that there's one ruler, one absolute ruler, one being known as God. What today we simply call monotheism, but what the early church fathers used the term monarchianism. Monotheism is kind of a more of a modern terminology, is the point I'm trying to make. Whereas the word monarchianism is actually based on 2 Greek words, mono and arche. So that's why they describe it as monarchianism. What we today